Welcome to the Conclave.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Conclave.Podcast. An absolute horrifying injustice has occurred, and I have been removed from my own podcast. Sure, it's just for an episode. Yeah, I didn't have much that could have uh, benefited the conversation, but it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. However, today's conversation is going to be a great one. Jess and two Lokean friends of hers will be going into Loki. And no, it's not the Marvel wonder that you know of. We're talking old school, true mythology Loki. I haven't heard the episode yet. I'm about to start editing now, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I'm fairly certain y'all are going to enjoy this as well. Have fun.
All right, hi, and welcome to the Conclave Podcast. Today we are being joined by Charlie and Erica. Pat is not here because honestly, this is the best, like the most available day for the people that matter. Because today we're talking about Loki. And so I'm here with some fellow Lokians to discuss our relationship with him and how we came about and how we deal with him in our day-to-day lives. Um, and yeah, so we were kind of mid conversation when I was like, "Oh shit, we need to start and record." So, moving right along, Pat will have a little introduction, and then you don't have to listen to him the rest of the time. I love him so much. Anyway, so I guess we can start with Charlie. When did you start with Loki?
Well, so like officially, it was probably mid 2023. I had been on another podcast in like early July of that year that didn't go out till about September, but and it was talking about my practice at the time. And I think after the podcast, I had made a joke about I'm surprised Loki isn't in my practice because it was just no, like,
You
and
rang.
because like I knew a handful of people who worked with them, and he hadn't properly come into my space at the time. But like looking back, I as I dove further into my practice, I realized that both he and Odin had been in my space since I was a child. Because very distinctly, when I was very young, in the corner of my bedroom, right above my bed, there was always a daddy long legs net, web
Just hanging out.
just there, and it was nothing I was ever afraid of. It was almost comforting in a way, like it was a protection thing for me. So like looking back, I'm like, yeah, that it draws that into. They've been walking with me for a while. They were just waiting for me to get to a point where like I was ready to accept that work and start all of that. So it was yeah, it was probably it was probably around this time 2023 because I just moved up to Pittsburgh. My life had just completely gone off the rails.
A lot of people I talk to, it's always like spring or fall. Like it's a
Yeah,
transitional season a lot
yeah,
of times. Um, yeah, I've seen a lot of that trend being like, yeah, it was right about oh shit, September, October time frame.
yeah.
Like,
And I remember
I think she's just a spooky bitch.
yeah, I remember being at work and it was probably my like I had probably only been working there for a couple weeks, maybe a month, and it was just chaotic. And there was this fly that was probably about yay big that kept buzzing around. And I was like, okay, Loki, if that's you, I will give you at the time I had a bunch of those soft peppermints, but I had a bunch that were like double packed.
Oh,
And I was like, I will give you the double packed ones if you can get me through this. And sure enough, that fly disappeared. I found like there was probably three or four of these packs that were either double or like one and a half. And so I set them aside, and they still live in the package on my altar to
nice.
Loki. Yeah.
Nice. That's really cool.
And every once in a while, I'll see that fly around at work, and I'm like, okay, what's going on?
He's like, all right, what do I need to be worried about?
And as soon as I acknowledge it, the fly disappears. It's like it doesn't fly off anywhere; it just disappears. I'm like, okay, and it's always roughly the same type, and I'm like, this could
What
be.
you doing, buddy?
Yeah, no, truly. I'm like, okay.
I love that.
What about you?
It's been a while now. Probably around 2020. I give Loki credit for you in my life.
I mean, it might be my fault. It might not be my credit.
Like, I was very solitary, and Loki and I had Hermes around at the time, and they were both like, "You need friends." And that summer, I met a different practitioner who was involved in like some of the Greek stuff that I do, and her name was Erica as well. And I'm like, "Oh," and then she starts talking about like Loki and Hermes and stuff, and I'm like, "Okay, I see where this is going." After I walked into your shop, and you are decked out in Loki.
With my chaos and destruction shirt on.
Met anybody who was really working with him or doing anything Norse at all. I was really apprehensive too because I didn't intend on doing anything Norse in my practice initially, and then I was nervous because there are a lot of like racist people and things like that. So I felt like it was a space that was scary for me to enter, especially because so I'm multiracial, and the white side of my family doesn't like me.
Oh,
It's part of that problematic community.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, like, my mom loves me, and my aunts and like my grandparents were cool, but I don't know anybody
Like
else.
extended family
yeah.
from that.
They didn't want anything to do with us. They didn't like my father. There was a lot of like drama with that. So of course I was like kind of okay. I'm not really. I'm not-
There's a bunch of Yahtzees in this space, and I'm
Yeah.
a little.
Yeah, so like from my own like experience, I was kind of didn't know if I was welcome. And so then Loki came in and kind of he actually helps me with some of that stuff as well. My favorite thing that he said to me, because I was like, well, I don't know, like I don't know like who I am, that type of thing when it comes to ethnicity and stuff. A lot of people don't know what I am. So, and then when I tell them what I am, they get mad at me because I don't look like how I'm supposed to look. So,
All that colorism, racism things coming in.
so his advice once was, "No one knows what I am, but I'm me. So you be you." And I was like, "Okay, I like that." But I was very like again very apprehensive of dealing with them. I was already getting used to like the concept of deities, and I already had like an established like practice. And I started getting gifted like runes. Like everybody kept giving me runes, and I didn't understand why. To the point like even over COVID, I was getting like runes in the mail.
And you're like,
You're looking at me thinking I want reason. I think it's the divination. I think because I was already doing oracle work, they're like, oh, this whatever. And then I start seeing like ravens, and I'm like, oh, is this Odin? Oh my God, like I don't know about this. And like, so I was ignoring him for a very long time, just kind of like no. And then Loki starts like showing up, and later you learn that the whole Blood Brothers thing. So I guess it's not uncommon to have Loki and Odin show up at the same time. But Loki was a lot more like I say a million times the Kool-Aid Man. Like
right?
he interacts
Oh my God.
like a whole other problem because I hadn't had my clairaudience under control. And he's like, I'm gonna use this. And everything came to a heat. I was at a concert, and it was like a metal show. And he randomly I hear him go, "Hey, it's me." And I'm like, "Who is this?" So like metal music and just a mosh pit and all of this going on while you have like you're realizing you're clairaudient, like really clairaudient.
And you're like, there's nobody around me that's like talking to me.
Like grip my sister, and I'm like, I think Loki's here. So she's like, what the fuck? We get in the car, and we're like trying to like go through everything and trying to like spirit vet while he's like in the background like chiming in at everything we're saying. And so finally I'm like, okay, I have to like face this. I can't keep pushing this all like
It's like a 24/7 peanut gallery with them too. Like,
Yeah.
always has something to say.
Yeah, so I proceeded to do spirit vet. I have like a list of questions I'll ask the spirits, and in my benefit, I knew nothing about Norse mythology. I knew nothing about him. At one point, I was talking to my friend, and I'm like, I don't know why he's around. And then my friend's like, isn't he like the devil? And I'm like, I think he is. And so then
He's not, by the way, guys.
No, no, not at all.
Disclaimer.
that's our correspondence with her now. It's like picking on me. But then he proceeds to say, "Oh, just you wait." Which years later, I very much have been dealing with things that are um fall into that category.
Yeah.
I definitely lean into left hand. So he was kind of. I feel like he was the like
Precursor.
yeah, like it'll be okay. I'll help you like adjust all of that. And then he also would refer to the main spirit that I was still working with as Sun Boy constantly. And so, after meeting him, I asked him like a whole bunch of questions, and then he answered all of them. And so then I pull out all my books and I'm fine tooth combing what I have, and then going, getting what I don't have because I knew nothing about Norse mythology. Everything he said was accurate, and it was to myth, it was to him, like everything down to like he's like, have coffee with me, and I'm like, okay. And then I find out he likes coffee a lot, cinnamon, all of that stuff. I'm like, didn't know. He's just telling me this is what you do.
It's like, this is what you give me.
Yeah.
Like in hindsight, you're like, oh, so you can get like your energy all up here,
All up in my business.
like months later,
Right.
and like so after I like went through all of that, which he was very patient for, and I think that if a spirit doesn't like you doing that, you should probably
Not be working with them.
Yeah.
Like, if they're not going to let you
Yeah.
take your time and approach certain
Yeah,
things at
no,
your
for
own
sure.
pace.
Yeah. And then after that, he's like, okay, let's get going. And then of course Odin comes in now that I'm comfortable,
Yeah.
and he's like, we can work now.
He's like, do you want to go to the underworld? Like, it's 7:00 on a Tuesday, so I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah.
Just trying to have coffee, my guy.
Yeah.
Strict. I didn't realize how much Odin will like push it, because there was somebody I was reading recently, and they said that he knows like your capabilities and can see like what you can do, so he will really like push that until you like tell him like, hey,
Like,
calm
no.
I was like rune journeys every day. Like he's like, oh, you want to learn the runes, and I thought that's just how you did, like what you did. I didn't know that like
That you can say no, and
do that all the
be like,
time.
you can be like, okay, we're gonna do this on Wednesdays,
Yeah.
and that's it. And that's your day. I have other things I need to do.
Oh, he has something else. And then Loki's just like, it's fine, it's fine. Well, it's fine. Just do it. And like, so I learned the runes from those two, which was cool because I got like the two perspectives. And I mean, Donald Tyson, he says that you should do those rune journeys at least 6 times. So I've gone through it with them, which takes forever because
Because you go through the entire Futhark, and
yeah,
that takes a hot minute.
and it's not just a day. It can be a month, a week, however long you're working with that rune, because the runes are really intense. They are not just draw this because you want money. They're like primordial energy.
Right.
Yeah.
They're archetypes. They're like,
So that was an experience. But yeah, that's how I met him, and he's adapted into how my practice has evolved. I remember he had like kind of pulled back, which was weird because for a while it was just me and him. Like I wasn't like the other spirits had kind of left, and it's just me and him for a long time. And I thinking, oh, this is what's happening.
right.
And then he like pulls back so I could learn some like new stuff. But he's like, no, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. And then I'm looking at this grimoire, which is like going through, and then there he is in it, and I just like start crying. So I was like, you didn't leave me.
It's every time I think he's gone quiet, because it's so rare for him to go quiet with me. Every time I think he's gone quiet, something will happen that I'm like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
You're just giving me the break I asked for like a month ago, because I was like,
Yeah.
crashing out on something, and you're like, okay, cool, we're gonna just not for a minute. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it didn't mean go away entirely, dude. I just mean, can we not do like a journey tonight? Can I
Yeah.
just like sleep?
Yeah.
I did that last night. Like, okay, so
Like, everybody go away. I'm going to bed.
I have insomnia. I've learned really bad. Probably I texted you very late at
Yeah, or very early in the
yeah,
morning.
very early. My sister's like, I think you have insomnia. I don't think you're a morning person. I just don't think you sleep.
Just-
Like, I don't think I do either, and so I'm dealing with this.
I feel it though.
Yeah. And then, like last night, I'm like to the team, like, everybody, I'm like, I need to sleep. Like I need sleep. Whoever loves me, I don't care. Can somebody help me sleep? So I close my eyes, and then guess who comes walking out of the fog? It's Loki. And he's like, all right, let's go. So I slept, but my dreams were really crazy.
yeah, and you're like, that's not quite what I meant. Thank you. I was thinking more chamomile tea and a blankie.
Yeah.
Story or something.
Yeah, like can we do this like Goldilocks? Yeah, I think it was I don't know, it was probably it was about this time 2018 when we first started like when I first started suspecting he was coming around. Um Pat had already started a relationship with the Morrigan at that point, and I'm sitting over here like, well, he gets a deity, whatever. But I wasn't really like actively searching. And like weird little things started happening. The big one was like I would be folding my laundry and I would take my clean laundry, fold it, and directly go upstairs to put it away in my bedroom. And I, pull out a shirt, put it in the thing, and turn around, and there's a dead spider in the middle of my clean laundry that I literally just folded. It has not been sitting around forever. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay. So I start looking into like spiders and associations and things, and like also things that are very obviously practical jokes because this is like some cat bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, kind of settled on a couple, but it's like, I don't know, it's feeling like it might be Loki, but whatever, it's not. Like that's silly. And so I just kept ignoring it and kept ignoring it and kept like kind of just eyeballing for other signs. And like there was one time we had a windstorm at our house and a couple of the tree branches had fallen in like one looked like an oam and then one was very obviously Kanas. And I was like, nah, because I'm dense. And so
Feel
one
it.
night he yanked me into astral and set me on fire. And and then walked through the flames. It was literally like a Verizon commercial. It was like, "Do you hear me now, bitch?" And I'm like, "Yes, sir."
Wait, you always see World Ender.
Yes, he came to me as World Ender because apparently and I like he always felt like he was kind of prepping me for something, and I could
Okay.
never figure out what it was, but I was like, "All right, I'm gonna trust the process."
Yeah.
And there was a lot of like learning how like I always kind of describe working with Loki as not necessarily like learning how like being chaotic. It's not always embracing the chaos. A lot of times it's like learning how to navigate your way through the chaos. So there's
Yeah.
always like
Finding the order in that chaos.
yeah, so it's a lot of like I always say like it's a swollen river after the snow starts melting and you're trying to traverse it. And the river's never ending. That roll of
Yeah.
chaos is never stopping. But you're just trying to navigate to like the next foothold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, there might be some places where you're going to be about ankle deep and it's going to suck, but you're just kind
Yeah.
of trying to traverse your way through that chaos. So like he started doing that and then like 2020 happened and I was like, "Oh,
Fun.
I see what you did there. Like you made sure I didn't crash out this year." At that point Pat had lost his job at the restaurant. Like we were just shut inside for months, and then
Yeah.
we started helping out at another metaphysical store during that time because they moved to New York, and then we turned that into opening our own, and it was just like the little steps in the chaos that led us to nowhere we thought we would be 15 years ago. Like,
No, not at all.
so it's been a constant, and then he just keeps bringing me down rabbit holes upon rabbit holes upon rabbit holes, and I'm very tired. But yeah, I think we've noticed a couple things. I like, yep, fire. Everybody's kind of used to like the
Yeah.
flame.
Yeah, his candle never burns smooth. Like it never like it burns, and then when I blow it out, it always forms weird shapes in the wax on the top.
Yeah.
And
And
I'm like,
it never burns like a normal candle.
No.
Like he can like never not be extra.
yeah,
Like I'm like, bro, I was just cleaning, and like I figured while I was cleaning I'd light your candle, and like it's like I got a 2-foot flame coming off it. I'm like, you need to chill, you're gonna burn my house down.
yeah, yeah. Like I was burning his candle last night when I was doing divination before today, and at no point did that flame get under like this big. I was like,
You're like, I feel like sometimes like the white monkey
yeah,
gif where you're just like,
yeah, like
I've kind of gotten used to fire at this point, especially because I have a lot of fire deities around me.
right,
Yeah.
you're like, especially with like Apollo and Hermes and
yeah,
They all do. One of the spirits was like, "You're a fire worshiper." I was like, "What?"
I am.
It took me down a rabbit hole of like past life stuff, and I'm like, "Oh, okay,
Okay, never mind, maybe I am.
yeah."
So you said that you guys have associations with him in your like when you read tarot. Like what would
Mhm.
so you said the devil is like kind
The
of like
Fool.
your little joke in the fool.
And the Fool, but the devil is like me and him, so I
That's
know
like
for
your
sure.
little inside.
Yeah, and I remember once I've told you this story. I was doing tarot like for at a yoga thing, and none of these people knew like what tarot they thought was bad,
Yeah.
was evil or whatever. But it happened to be at the like near the hospital where my mom passed away. So I was like really nervous about going to it because I could literally see where, and it was months after.
Yeah.
And so I'm there, and then of course I pulled the devil card for every single person there who did not have, they thought the tarot itself was like that. And so I'm like, okay, so thank you for letting me know you're with me.
But you're scaring everybody.
scaring the people.
Everybody. Yeah, so that's mine.
So originally I didn't have an association with Loki, but my friend gifted me a deck. It's the Astara Terra deck. And my friend was like, maybe Hestia would like this one. And look, as soon as it got to me, Loki was like, no, that's mine.
Yoink.
And the two cards that I associate most with Loki out of that deck are the Knight of Wands, which is genuinely like in that deck is this redheaded, like long red hair. I'm pretty sure there's like fire imagery in that card itself.
Yeah.
And then also in that deck, also the Emperor, which is this redheaded person with like ram's horns. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's
That tracks.
yeah.
Yeah, the Knight of Wands shows up for him for me a lot.
Mhm.
And then the Tower, because why not? But
Yeah.
of course, the problem is the Tower is also like a self signifier. So it's like, all right, is this you or me? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I need you to elaborate, please. But of course, the Tower, which always freaks people out. Like every time somebody reads for me, if they're like legit reading for me, they'll
Yeah.
pull the Tower and they're like, oh, "I'm so sorry," and I'm like,
No,
"It's fine."
it's just Loki.
Like
or it's
I
just
get
me. It's
like,
one of the two.
it's one of the two of us, so
Yeah.
don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
It's
Like
okay.
that means you're actually reading me correctly.
Yeah.
Love that.
So how do you guys typically work with him?
So he tends to morph into like whatever I'm doing. But we have our own projects. So one of the things, magically speaking, that he has me doing is I have a book and it has rune formulas and then it has the herbs that go with them, but we're making it together, like kind of experimenting, seeing what works, and then having it like pre-made. So like the jars have the formula on it, and then it has what it does. So then it's always kind of in the
Charged and
energy.
ready to go. Yeah.
Yeah, and he said that I needed to do that because sometimes I don't have the energy to like do what I need to do, and then I'm just kind of stuck. He did that through Loki's way of teaching, which sometimes can be the hard way, or it can be like really confusing, and then you figure out what he means. So we call it Loki shit. Yeah.
It's like a very ADHD like approach for
Yeah.
sure. It's like
Yeah.
you don't know how you got there at the end, but then you're like, okay, I get it now, but how?
Yeah. It's like we went on like 10 tangents and I don't know how we got exactly here.
Or you're like, oh, this is miserable.
Yeah, like every part of this sucks. Why am I doing this? I do a lot of complaining the whole way down. Like
Bickering back and forth.
there's a whole lot of like, fine, we're gonna do this, but I am going to bitch the entire time.
Yeah. No.
But you end up being okay. So I find that if I just kind of go with it, I'm all right. And but sometimes things will blindside you, and then you realize, oh, this was a lesson. So I had an encounter where I needed to like really protect myself a lot more, and he let that happen. He was there, like he's talking to me and stuff, but I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, you'll see. And then I learned. So promptly after that, he's like, let's get these going. But it's kind of like fluid. It's not very strict. I mean, I'm a Virgo, so it's gonna be very organized.
You want it structured.
Tends to flip things fast for me. I've noticed I'm really receptive to how he teaches. So if I don't understand something, usually if he does it, I will understand it. So we moved from initially him helping me with like learn runes and learn like that and develop my practice a little bit more to now he's fitting into some of the um how things have shifted. So right now I'm trying to have more self-empowerment, and it's like the concept of recognizing the divinity within you, and then so you're not it's not externalizing your spirituality so much. So you're not like on your knees before an altar constantly, and then all of a sudden you've externalized everything and you've given your power to like everything outside of you, which is no different than anything else in our current society.
Yeah, like you might as well be worshiping at the altar of money or Jesus or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
Anything. And so he's kind of morphed in with those spirits who are helping me with that. And I've noticed he seems to initiate the journey that I'm about to go on. And it's the point where I was getting a little nervous whenever he would show up randomly.
like where are we going now?
What are we doing this time?
So it's fine, and he doesn't like abandon me on that. But they're trying to have a lot more of like this self like revelation and self like discovery so that I can like be stronger in that. So it's kind of like pulling it in very personal as opposed to following like what I usually do is I will go through the text and try to find the oldest stuff I can find and like follow what they're doing. Like,
Reconstruct as fully as you can.
as much as I
And there's
can.
really not an option with Lokean
Yeah.
information to do that. There's a little bit of text and work that we can work with, but otherwise it's kind of very spirit led. I'll say.
Yeah. For me, right now, like I've pulled away from my practice a lot because life has been entirely too much to even put energy towards anything else. But so like right now I'm coming back into that, and like the first reading I did with Loki, post like realizing I need to come back to my practice more, was basically him being like, I understand you've been isolating, I understand why, but like it does still hurt. But like whatever's coming next,
You're gonna need
and I'm here with you for this. So, and it was when I was doing my spread last night for today, it was like it was genuinely like this is the start of something. Something big is coming and we have to be ready for it, which is like what everyone else has been telling me, and I'm like, okay, but like, can I get more? Can somebody give me more answers? And they're like, no, you just got to see. I'm like,
I would really love specifics.
yeah, no, yeah,
Like I would really love if there could be some explicitness.
yeah, but literally everyone. Like, I did readings with Lilith and Hestia, and like on the most recent like holiday, and they were like, yeah, something's coming. We can't tell you what, but like it's just something you got to experience. And then to have Loki be like, yeah, this is the start of something big that's coming. I'm like, everyone is telling me this, but no one is giving me answers.
And when you've been living through unprecedented times longer than like precedented, like at this point, precedented times would be unprecedented.
Yeah.
You're like, what now? Like
Well,
really, like Okay, and like, are we
Like, it's
talking nuclear war? Or are we talking like another like political
Yeah.
bullshit thing? Like,
yeah.
because
I'm like,
I'm gonna need like
is
how
this
how
something
worried do I
specific to
need to
me?
be?
Is this going to be just something I'm going through? Is this going to be something
Fair.
that like
Yeah.
I need to be like completely prepared for, even though you're not telling me what to prepare for?
Like, do I need to be stocking up on canned goods, or do I need to be like protecting my energy? These are
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just need to know if I need to go full prepper or not.
yeah. Exactly. Like what kind of prepared do I need to be?
Like, I keep getting those MRE ads on TikTok. Like, maybe I need, like, maybe that's a sign.
Maybe.
Question for both of you. What was the most surprising thing that happened when you were working with him? Like something that he did that you didn't expect, or like how he acts, or something that was surprising for you?
I mean, outside of being set on fire.
Like, oh, well, this is what a chaos god would be like,
Yeah.
or anything like that.
I want to say, like, on the daily interaction, how average it is. He's kind of like the weird, like, he's the dude on the couch.
Yeah.
Like, he just, like, will wander into the kitchen in, like, sweatpants and bare feet and just be, like, rummaging through the cabinets like some kind of squirrely raccoon that hasn't showered in a week.
Yeah. Wrong enough.
So, like, I feel like just how completely normal he is when he's not like, "Oh, we're going for a ride today." Like, he's just that friend that you're like, "Oh, there's gonna be chaos," but the rest of the time, he like, you're just like, "Oh, what's where did my chips go?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, you find them under the dining room table, and you're like, "Those were in the cabinet. The cats didn't open the cabinet, guys."
Um, this happened very recently. And I think it's just funny, more than necessarily surprising, because so my sis for some reason my sister's boyfriend had like wanted to like play around with my tarot decks, and so we were doing that. We were reading the whole family to filth. And my sister, who is not really like, she's vaguely Christian spiritual. She's not like, she doesn't get all of the tarot and stuff, but she was like, well, I would like to try. And for some reason she chose Loki's deck. And I was like, Loki, be
Of
nice to
course.
her. Which, I don't know. Yeah. But she was shuffling them. She wasn't getting anything.
Oh.
And it was complete dead silence on that end. And so I had gotten up, went into my room, lit Loki's candle in my altar, and at that point, like, her boyfriend had taken the deck, and it wasn't until I had gone in and lit Loki's candle that they got anything from Loki. And it was literally just saying that she was too logical thinking to like, he's like, I can't work with all this logic.
Like, sorry, this is
This is not my thing. You know, like fair. Honestly, fair. Like, I get it. Like, she might have been better off with Hestia.
right.
But
Like, there's some people that are just like, you know what, this might not be for you.
yeah. Yeah, everything's just like, no.
I asked him that because it seems like online a lot of the like ones where you're like, oh, slow down, get really, really popular. And I'm like, what happens? Like, I was like, kind of like, what happens? And he's like, oh, they'll figure it out. He's like, you learn. It's just how long
It
it
takes them.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that in a lot of online spaces, especially surrounding Loki, where like they want to blame everything on him, and like you see like the 10-page diatribe of all the shit going on in your life, and you can actually pinpoint every time it was their choice or
Yeah.
their decision or their lack of action that
Yeah.
caused
Yeah.
the thing. And it's all like, I'm gonna stop working with Loki because he did this, that, and the other thing.
Mhm.
Like, or you weren't listening.
No,
Yeah.
Or like,
exactly.
like there's a
Like,
lot, I think, with
he's just vibing on the couch. What
yeah,
are
like
you
that's
doing?
the dude on the couch. You should not be relying on him for all of your life advice, okay?
True.
Like, truly.
Picturing hot Cheetos right now.
No,
Like,
100%.
like, legit. Uh, Hot Cheetos Mountain Dew. He's like,
Yeah.
um, but like legitimately, like accountability when working with Loki, I think is so important.
Mhm.
Like, you really need, I think, because especially with like I think a lot of chaos entities, it's so easy to
Yeah.
kind of get trapped into like a almost a like dissociative illusion. Dealing with that kind of energy that you really need to make sure when you're working with him that you're like still connected to reality
Yeah.
to some extent. Like, I mean, there was that one guy who like was in full on psychosis because he
Yeah.
was like trying to work with Loki. He was trying to do all these journeys. He was doing like cocaine and on these antipsychotics and like everything was like, oh, Loki showed me this, Loki showed me that. I'm like, no,
You
you
were
need
just
a like
tripping.
you need a mental hospital. Like you
Yeah.
need to
Yeah.
detox and you need a padded room. Like
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like when people will justify bad behavior by saying that like he did it. They
or
don't
he
nec-
loves it when I do that. Like, no,
Yeah,
he's
no.
really not trying to have
No.
you
No.
overdose on MDMA. Like
Yeah,
like
that's not how that
No. Like,
works.
it's very much, I feel like it's that idea of like, well, there's all this stuff going wrong and I'm working with this deity and this is kind of what they realm over. So clearly, like, this is all they're doing and it has nothing to do with me. It's like, no.
and they
If
get into online spaces where everybody's saying the
Yeah.
same thing.
It's like this is how Loki ended up villainized for so much of history
Yeah.
because people are like, well, he's a chaos deity and he's a trickster. It's like, yeah, but he's pulling practical jokes, not destroying your life.
Well, and like I feel like a lot of times people are like, "Oh, well, all this stuff is going wrong." I'm like, he's uprooting shit too. Like, and you have to understand when you pull things out, when you break down foundations of your life,
Things crumble.
things crumble. You need to replace that with
Yeah.
like new
Yeah.
habits, new practices, new attitudes, new ideas.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, there's nothing to fill that hole and shit starts going catawampus. So if you're gonna start doing that like big tower work, you do need to be prepared to rebuild once you're done tearing it down.
Yeah.
You have to stick with it. A lot
Yeah.
of a lot of those types of spirits I've noticed that do make you face your shit, it gets scary because you don't want to like deal with it and you want to like again externalize everything and blame a devil or blame whatever. And Loki in in this case, and then they get scared and then they like run back to whatever they were doing prior or they start blaming the spirit. But there's also a component of energy, I think, and like people I don't think people realize you have to get acclimated to a divinity's energy being in your energy because it can like mess with you and like you can see signs in it like some of the stuff that you do might shift a little bit like music or like some of your interests might start or at least with me I've noticed I can that's like a signifier for me but also it can like disrupt like kind of like how you're moving through reality so you have to like ground like you were saying or else you can get off and start getting obsessed or whatever because like they do feel good divinities do feel like nice
I mean,
sometimes.
it's divine ecstasy for a
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
So, like, I totally get why it's easy to get into that trap, but you need to like, and
Mhm.
if you have somebody in your life who's like, you need to slow down,
Yeah.
you need to go ground, or you need to be doing this, somebody who's legitimately trying to give you advice to like kind of come back into your own head and body for a little bit,
Yeah.
you need to listen to them. You
Yeah.
need to not
Yeah.
villainize them either, because if somebody is trying to tell you that, they are legitimately usually trying to help you like
Oh yeah.
survive physically.
Yeah.
Because I know this has happened to me a lot, where I'm like, okay, I'm so glad that like this is how you're vibing, but like, did you pay your water bill this month?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like you need to make sure that you're going to work. You are doing the job you're supposed to be doing while at work.
Yeah.
You are paying your bills, you are feeding yourself, you are drinking water, you are getting sleep.
Yeah. You're
Like,
taking care of the mortal form.
we have a physical vessel that does need help.
Yeah.
Experience being alive too I think we don't like realize how nice it is to be a person in a body like think about it
Yeah.
we have these containers that kind of contain our experience versus like I don't know I think like what would it be like to be a spirit or
Yeah, I mean, there's
you
a
know
reason ghosts are trying so hard and like entities and things want
yeah
to possess a human body. Like
yeah
they want to go around and like stub their toe and feel that again. As
Yeah.
much as it sucks, like they are out there not feeling things the way they remember as a physical form.
Yeah.
yeah
So they're probably just like, I really want to know what it's like to get laid again.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
like also how they're experiencing energy. So like let's think of like a deity, okay? So how many people are they encountering? How many people are they close with? then they're feeling all the feelings. So like this devotee's sad, this devotee's in divine ecstasy, this guy's like doing something irresponsible.
This guy's like on the crazy train, and this
Yeah.
guy's
Yes, all at once. Like I don't know, that might be stressful.
it might be a little hard to sit
Right,
there too. Be
yeah.
like, all right, this guy's crazy, but he's not jumping off a bridge crazy, so we're gonna go help this guy first.
Yeah. No, exactly. And like,
This is
it's-
put a pin in it crazy. This is super crazy. This one's gonna be real easy, so we're gonna knock that one out real quick.
yeah, it's like,
Dying again, great.
Great.
like, well, this is a Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
But
like, oh,
it's like it's the advice where it's like if you're going to be doing shadow work, make sure you're also like, especially if you're getting in deep with shadow work, make sure you have a professional to also be working through that like from a non-spiritual point of view,
Yeah.
because otherwise, because otherwise you're going to end up in the wrong place, whether
Yeah.
you're trying your best not to be or not.
yeah, like
Mhm.
something like shadow work can take you to such a dark place if you're
Oh, yeah.
not careful. And even doing stuff like the descents, like otherworld descents, like those can be really
Jarring.
jarring. And like it's not something you need to be doing every day.
No.
Yeah.
Like you should be doing a descent and then giving yourself time to process what went on
Yeah.
in that descent. Like you don't need to be like, I don't really like even like the shadow work journals that are like, oh, you do this prompt every day or every week or no. Like
No.
some prompts are going to take me like I'm going to be like, yeah, I don't need to work on that. Like that's not
Yeah.
a problem I have. Other prompts are going to be like, that's going to take me like October.
Yeah, like that's gonna take a solid month and probably a little more, and then a bunch of time after that to make sure I've recovered from what all of that
From
was.
all of that just like when you do like the rune journeys, like
Yeah.
some take much longer to process and understand than others, and it's just
Yeah.
going to be like, you know what, we're going to take a little time out. It's okay to take a potty break,
Yeah.
drink some water,
Yeah.
touch some grass,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like go to a concert. Yeah, like
Every week.
yeah, your entire life doesn't need to be like like an episode of Supernatural. Like it really
Yeah,
doesn't.
no.
Like
why?
like every week something big doesn't need to happen. Like
No.
you can just exist. It's okay. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of people get caught into like this, well, I need to know the most and be the best and like have all my
Yeah.
like I need to get there yesterday, and it's like you're never going to get there. I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you right now,
Yeah.
you can be from birth to death practicing and researching and journeying and doing all the things, and guess what, you're never going to be the one who knows it all. You're never going to
No.
be the one who has it all like you're never going to be perfect, and that's why it's called a practice. So don't be so
Yeah.
concerned about it.
Yeah.
Like just let the experiences you need to have happen.
Yeah.
I would agree for sure. I think too, like, what if those daily experiences are something divine? Like it's a part of
It's a part of the
it.
experience.
Yeah.
Like, there's divinity in music, there's divinity in art, like all of it can connect us to these realms. So like why does it have to be this specific formula that takes you away from yourself? Like the whole point is to be like know yourself
Mhm.
better.
Yeah. I'm very much a magic in the mundane kind of person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like a lot of my deity work in general is just stuff I do every day anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's, taking care of the household for Hestia and, taking time to, read and, whatever else I might do that's kind of more brain,
A
for
little more
Odin.
stimulating. Yeah.
Yeah, for Odin and, and it doesn't ever have to be anything big. Like those big things can be important and can be good, but like if you don't have the energy to put extra energy out there, it's like you can devote little things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like and like right now with Odin, like I've been reading the Wheel of Time series again. One of the three female or male main characters is Matt Coughlin, and one of the covers of his book, he is depicted. First off, he gets hung in the books
Oh wow.
and comes back to life.
Okay.
And in one of the covers of one of the books, where it's following him for most of the book, he's depicted with a spear and two crows. And I'm like,
Interesting.
and part of his like dying and coming back to life is he's filled with the memories of like different people from ages past that have like turned him into like the ultimate general.
Goodness.
And he speaks the old language like
Yeah.
fluently. And I'm like,
I see.
I see what you did there, Robert Jordan.
Yeah.
But it always kind of entertains me when I see
Yeah.
these little like, and again, it's a fantasy novel. It is 100% fiction. I am reading specifically just for enjoyment. In fact, I'm using the audiobooks because my brother got me an Audible account for my birthday. So I've been just downloading the audiobooks and I go around cleaning and I'm listening to it and I'm like, yeah, it's a little bit of like, what's up, Odin?
Yeah. For real. Yeah.
I think to
Yeah.
define, like I think writing him, he's a poet. Of course he's gonna be slip himself in.
Slip himself into
you
it.
know?
Yeah.
And then there's, just watch Marvel sometimes. You want to like
Right?
hang out with Loki. Granted, it's very wrong.
It's so wrong.
Yeah.
But
Wrong.
I find I like watching season 2 of
Yeah.
Loki.
Yeah.
With him I really just love the end. Like honestly,
Oh.
like the whole world tree at the
I
end just
know.
like kills me every
It
time.
got me. It really got me. He was like, I'm here.
Like, it's okay. It's okay.
A moment.
Everybody's gonna be so
Last I was like, what?
can you at least have a cat? Can we get Groot in there? It's a tree too.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't. One thing that I think surprised me about working with him was how nurturing he can be. Like he takes on this like when I was joking about the Mama Sugar Mama song, it's because I'll say Mama Loki sometimes because he can like be very parenty with
Mhm.
me, I've noticed. And the first time I experienced that, like where it clicked, I had COVID and I'm looking around for one of the like healing gods that I'm associated with.
Yeah, you're like
Sun
Apollo, a
Boy.
little healthier.
Yeah.
I'm like, why aren't you here? And like, it's just Loki. And then he's like, oh, it's me. And the song Ecstasy kept playing over and over. Like, and I'm like, okay. And he's like, we got this. We got this. And then it
It's
just,
like he can't do anything
yeah,
anyway. It's a virus. You just gotta wait.
it's like, I mean, plague. It's kind of his fault.
Right?
Like, wow.
Maybe he's feeling a little guilty.
So he stuck with me the whole time. And funny enough, since we were talking about Odin, I was on the phone with my sister during that time period, and I had said to her, I'm talking about mythology, and I go, all I know is if a man with one eye shows up to my door, I'm listening to what he has to say.
Right?
Okay. And then creepy enough, my doorbell rings like an hour after, and I open the door, and it's this guy with one eye.
First off, who opens the door?
Yeah.
No, like I have sat there watching the Jehovah's Witness, like through the window. We're making eye contact, and I'm like, absolutely not.
Dude. I was like, fine, because I had COVID. I'm like, COVID, I can't like talk to you. And then this guy, this like slim built guy comes up next to him, and I'm like, is the universe like really trolling me right now?
You're like, you can talk through the door. I'm listening.
Starts going off about like humanity persons. It was really one of the weirdest experiences of my life. It's up there. He's like talking about how humans have gone through so much more and a virus isn't gonna end us and da 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 da. And I'm like, you voted? I mean, I mean, obviously we know it was a person, but the synchronicity for that chilling.
And you know, sometimes they just don't act like they're like remember completely how humans behave, and they just start spouting stuff, and you're like, my guy,
Like,
so I don't know if you know this about the people who actually are human.
Yeah.
We don't talk like that.
No. Not at all.
Especially not to complete strangers right off the bat.
Yeah.
I listened because I said if a guy with one eye comes
Yeah,
up,
but listen.
listening. My, statement prior, but yeah, it's up there with surprise. I also am enjoying how Odin has wiggled his way.
He's like,
into
oh, this
our
was supposed to be a Lokean bad.
No, truly.
trickster god. He's also
Yeah,
trickster god,
exactly.
so
So,
yeah, but
I mean, he came around to Pat before I started working with Loki when he started working with the Morrigan. Odin kind of popped his head in too, and Pat was like, I do not have time, energy,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
like inclination to deal with more than one deity right now.
especially
Like,
those two. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
he was like, yeah, we're gonna say not right now.
Yeah.
Maybe try later. And I think Odin was sitting there going like, maybe I'll try the other one. But then Loki was like, dibs. It's like, too late, sucker!
Yeah, I don't know, man. Odin and on Oregon together.
No,
Good.
that would be.
Oh my god, the discussions between Loki and the Morrigan in my kitchen are
Oh, I
in and
never
of
thought about
themselves
that.
alone. Like, because Loki will try to, like, they'll banter a bit, and then, like, Loki pushes it too far, and then, like, all of a sudden, like, my kitchen is filled with, like, crow wings, and I'm like, can we, guys,
Yeah, it's like, please.
can you take this outside? If you're gonna, like, start, like, tussling over, like, smack talk, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need this to happen in the yard.
Yeah. Like, can we not do this in the middle of my kitchen?
I'm like, I really don't need this right now.
So I've noticed with Loki that his children tend to come around. So what are your experiences with his children?
Um, I haven't dealt with Fenrir or Jormungandr too much. Typically the one that has come around the most has been Hel, but I've been also
Okay.
working on a lot of like underworld
Yeah.
descent stuff, so kind of makes sense. Like I got to go through her realm for a lot of stuff anyway. So she started popping up in 2020. We did a Samhain ritual that I was invited to. Um, but they wouldn't let me bring Loki. Like they had like gods they were assigning, and I was like, I'll take Hel, Loki's daughter, that'll be fine,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like Loki just wasn't on the guest list, which I brought him anyway. I went and stopped at Dunkin' Donuts. They have the ghost pepper donuts at the time. So I stopped and I was like, this is Loki's and he's here now. Like,
Yeah.
like you can try not to invite him, but that's not gonna happen.
Like, we're not formally inviting him, but he's crashing the party anyway.
Yeah, like so I just made sure to bring him a donut.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like,
no,
keep you occupied.
yeah, like,
Over here.
don't get mad that you weren't invited. We're not doing a Locusena today.
Distraction tactics.
It is though.
There's a little parent has two small children. I'm used to redirection.
Hilarious.
So I was the one who was supposed to invoke her at that ceremony, and she has kind of drifted in the background ever since. And when we do like Samhain rituals from here on out, like I've always tried to let somebody else do her. Because we've had people that work within Norse that want to do it, and then like they end up like going a little crazy. Like usually 2 years is the max anybody can summon Hell before like they go off the deep end. So I'm like, she is like, she's invited, but she is no longer being invoked.
Yeah.
We're like, I kind of feel like she just maybe doesn't necessarily want to be like fully part of the party. I think part of her is like, no, I'm good with my like gray world. Like I'm good
Yeah.
doing my underworld thing,
Yeah.
being my underworld person. So I think, like this year I'm gonna just like leave her an offering and just be like, here you go.
Sounds wise.
Yeah, I was like, we're just not gonna inflict that on anybody else that she has not like very like explicitly
Yeah.
Okay.
agreed to work with.
Which makes sense because I feel like she's like I feel like in general a lot of the underworld deities kind of like get roped into things because of that, and they're just like, no, I didn't ask for this. Like, why are you?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to do this.
Yeah. Or like, it's just people like they get sick, I think, of a lot of like spiritual edgelords sometimes where it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, I work with all these death gods, and they're like,
Keep calling, they're not answering. Please put down the phone.
oh yeah, and it's just like, they're all powerful in their own right, and it just
They're all scary.
like they all
yeah.
are terrifying. They all have shadow aspects.
Yeah.
We don't just because you think, and I think you see that a lot with like magical like practices and stuff too. Is like people assume that, oh, because it's like voodoo, it's much more powerful than, and I'm like, no, it's just different. Like
Yeah.
there's like
You don't have to be weird.
you don't like, please stop making it weird.
Yeah, no, for real.
Yeah, like
let the people know what they're doing.
and talking about and live it. Like
Yeah.
find your own thing.
The infernal spaces is riddled with that. And it's hard trying to like navigate it. And then coupled out with like being a woman, you get a lot of like boys who are like, I work with King Belial and I'm pure masculinity and And I'm like, why does he even want to deal with you?
You're like, oh my god, you're so annoying.
He's not touching me with a 10-foot pole, but okay.
Yeah. And even reading some of the books, like I was telling you, privately, like I'll have a hard time because it's like you said, that spiritual edgelording, like we're summoning all the most powerful. Why are you calling all of this scary?
Why?
intense?
What do you need in your life so badly?
That you're calling it an
Yeah.
actual airstrike.
Yeah, like I have
Just
done
it.
that kind of working once, and it was because somebody got murdered. Like,
What is the objective of this? Like,
Yeah.
great.
like, and then what makes me laugh even more is like a lot of them are trying to wield power like over people, but a lot of those gods are against that. They support sovereignty and like
It's like
free will and
consent
stuff.
is the first
Yeah.
step,
Right.
and you're trying to jump over a wall,
Yeah, like you're trying to like
and you wonder why you keep getting hurt.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
Or
like,
like, oh, Loki's gonna get you. You guys ever hear that online?
All the time, and I'm like,
he's currently sat on my couch. What are you talking about?
oh no, whatever shall I do?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Like, or his son, I feel like Fenrir gets a lot of that, like,
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
a lot. I like him a lot though. That's the child that I probably connected with mostly. Um, Hell just loosely. And Graboda, he took me to her once for runes. She kind of was intense. But she was what I found fascinating about that interaction is, she's from the land
Yeah.
far away, and then she's the chief of chiefs. Loki's her consort, not
Yeah.
the other way around.
Yeah.
So those were like lessons that I was getting in regards to like personal power, but also that she's from a land far away, and like it's okay to be like a part of this practice in a land far away
Yeah.
and not know who you are and all of that. So that was kind of one of the things that she said to me was to use my ancestors to help me with the runes, and I'm like, I don't do that. She said, okay, then use mine.
She's like, then here's some people.
Yeah, it's like, here's your options.
Well, that vein of his children that I've not really engaged with his wife.
Yeah, I haven't really engaged with Segan or like
The
their
twins,
children.
yeah.
It's mostly been
Mhm.
the monstrous children.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I work with Jormungandr, and
Mhm.
it was like I had back. This was probably 2020. It was even before Loki had stepped into my practice. It was probably it might have been around the time I started working with Odin in like 2021, 2022. I got a I had a huge obsession with sharks that just came out of nowhere. Like it made no sense to me then. I was like, oh, just a new hyper focus. But it didn't make sense because I wasn't learning about sharks. It was just something that I was like oddly obsessed with. And as
Chomp chomp.
yeah, and as I like started working with Loki, and then as like around 2024-ish, when everything with my sister's ex-husband started, and these big changes were happening, we had been it was after a potluck. We'd been talking about it, and I was like, I can't figure out like where this obsession has come from. And I like went partway down a rabbit hole of like, well, what like deities are associated with sharks? And I was like, there was like one, and I was like, that feels very close practice to me. Like, I'm gonna step away from that. Well, I was like, okay, so let's take shark. What is like something else that could be that? And it got to sea serpent.
Like, what kind of archetype does
Yeah.
that match?
And I was like, and then I just started looking into it, and it was right as things in my life were starting to really change up again. I was like, oh, that makes
The
sense.
light
Like
bulb went
that's
off.
yeah, I was like, okay. And it was funny because prior to starting to work with Jormungandr, I had been gifted this very specific and very strange oracle deck that my friend was like, I don't vibe with this. Like, you can have it. I'm like, okay. And when I first got it, I was like, it didn't make any sense to me, but I couldn't get rid of it. And then as soon as I like picked up on Jormungandr, I like went to that oracle deck, and sure enough, like I got a reading, and it was like there was something about the card that almost looked like it was like serpent skin, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is
Somebody's calling dibs.
yeah. And then as far as I'm aware, I haven't had any interaction with Hell or Fenrir. As far as I'm aware, like there's been like I think there's been at times where Fenrir has maybe been in the background, but I haven't ever like approached that energy. Just because like a lot of the DDs that I work with have come through in other ways and like through my characters because I do a lot of writing and like one of my characters works with Fenrir. And I'm like, okay, so you're kind of lurking, but we're not getting into
Whatever it is.
yeah, we haven't approached that yet. And so I wouldn't be surprised within, the next couple of years if I do end up and as I work more with Loki and I, actually get back into my practice, I wouldn't be surprised if I
he
have some interactions with Fenrir.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the bigger lessons with Fenrir is the idea of like what happens when you restrict a youth. Like if you are imposing like societal restrictions or
There's a reason. Look, there's a reason that like, so I work with both Dionysus and Loki on like inner child healing, and I'm like, oh, so that's coming, which now makes sense.
Oh.
'Cause that's
that's I see like
that's
helping
that's a
you.
lot of what I've seen with Fenrir and like the research that I did just to have because when I write a character who works with the deity like that, I do that research. It's usually more cursory, but like yeah, what I saw was a lot of the like a hard childhood and like being repressed and like being held back from things. And I'm like, and now that I'm like, yeah, no, that makes sense.
I mean, I also kind of like, his other aspects are like greed and hunger, and it's like there's a certain aspect that like greed is okay, hunger is okay, like that can also translate into things like ambition.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's also a reminder to watch how we let that ambition take over. We don't need to be Bezos ambitious.
Yeah. In your own way, it's like if you fall too far into things, you're then being bound by those things too.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's learning that balance of, you know, yes, you need to have ambition and you need to like strive for things, but you also have to like be aware of not only like are you holding yourself back trying to go for something that's completely out of your reach, but also are you hurting other people doing that too?
Yeah, is it to the detriment of other things that
Yeah.
you're engaging in those behaviors? And if so, then you are the very much shadow aspect of like maybe somebody should be binding you.
Yeah.
Speaking of Fenrir, he's been in social things. Like there was this thing called the Binding of the Wolf. I don't know if you guys heard of that. And it was about like opening up north for like other people who weren't, like Americans and stuff
Who
like
weren't
that.
Scandinavian
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
And I didn't like that because of the binding of the wolf like concepts. And I'm like, I don't know, I didn't see what that means. But then there was this book that was out, it was like a magazine in like I want to say the 90s, early 2000s. That was like Left Hand, and it was called Fenrir. But then it ended up becoming a part of a group that is very hateful, and I find it like I found that fascinating because you have this spirit like Fenrir, so, that I see as being like the other and then being commandeered by a group that doesn't like the other. And so then you start thinking about like let's say Loki and his children and some of the other like Norse gods that aren't a part of like the Aesir. Like how do you navigate your practice within all of that? Knowing that there are parts of people, there are people who don't like how you engage with, let's say, Fenrir or Jormungandr or Hell for that matter.
they can suck it.
I mean, I think it's, it's part and parcel of like anything. Like no matter what you look at as like as this is so othered, like how can there be people who work within this that still manage to essentially go against it? And it's like, well, it's because it's kind of what has happened with, Christianity and
Yeah,
that
it's that disconnect, that
of like
logical
actual
fallacies.
yeah. And it's like yeah it's you can twist anything to make it be about you if you try hard enough, even if that is in no way what it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's where kind of like personal bias can like really get you in trouble too. Is like you're attributing these things to someone that
Externalizing again. Instead
yeah
of taking accountability of your own hatred and your own biases, you are projecting them
oh yeah
onto an entity
Mhm.
to
to
justify
justify your
yeah
own hatred and bias. Like it's a it's a
Crazy.
vicious cycle,
Yeah.
but like
yeah
I don't know, like I feel like in general, first off, that I don't think a lot of like pagan practices should be done group because
Mhm.
everybody like
no
I think specifically a lot of them should be very internally it's a very personal
Mhm.
relationship and how you work with Loki will be different
Yeah.
than what
yeah
I'm working on and what you're working on and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to be right
yeah
about everything.
yeah
And I think most people that I tend to enter into conversations and practice with are the same way.
yeah
So I think anybody who starts putting their foot down on this is what this means and that's the rule and that's what I'm going to say, I'm going to be like, well, so
yeah I'm gonna
Yeah.
go
I'm gonna go this way.
yeah
Um, I think being a Loki, and it's a lot easier to navigate a lot of North spaces because it's a very big red flag. Like it's a
Yeah.
big green flag if they're like just chill about Loki.
yeah
It's a lot easier to enter spaces where like if you just mention Loki and people don't just immediately jump down your throat talking about the devil and shit, you can be like, all right, we can ride this out for a little bit. Let's see, let's
you
give it a
see
little
where
bit.
else it goes
Yeah, see where else this ends up. I always say it's kind of a good metric to
yeah
kind of test North spaces because people who are definitely in like the Asatru situation, the folkish assemblies, things like that, um, definitely are very anti-Loki.
yeah
Mhm.
So it's easy to kind of just weed that out. And I'm like, and I'm not going to be anywhere where he's not welcome.
yeah
Like,
yeah to be in those
Yeah.
yeah, and I think, as much as like community is good, and especially if like you're just starting out, like getting ideas,
Yeah.
like it is very much a personal thing, and like, yeah, what's gonna work for one person isn't gonna work for somebody else, and like even like I think that's why like the idea of like do your research and look at it through, is this who I'm interacting with in this way, and if it's not, set it down and keep going, because like the idea of t- take what resonates, leave what doesn't. It's like, and I've said this before on things where it's like you're allowed to have a seat at the table, but you're also allowed to get up. If this
Mhm.
place is no longer serving you, if this thing is no longer serving you, it's like it's okay to walk away from it. And I
Yeah.
think that's really important for spaces, especially online, but even
yeah,
in person. Like if you're not vibing with the way these people are going about things and how they're doing it, it's like you don't have to stay there. You
Yeah.
don't like you can, you have to look at everything, but you also have to be like, okay, what of this resonates? And as long as you're not letting that like personal bias of like be justifying things that are definitely not okay get in the way of that, that's how you should be looking at things, because you're not going to resonate with all of it being
Yeah.
like ever.
I
And
think
if
so.
you
Yeah.
do, it's probably not all at the same time.
I
yeah.
agree.
Like if
I
you
agree.
do, it's like because you're working on things that are in different
Yeah.
places at different
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. I agree totally. I've only ever had one encounter in person where I was blindsided. And I did this like event where I like read runes, and then I was asked to teach because I'll teach runes. I had a couple workshops, but it was at a new facility, and I was had the meeting with the woman. You have to, you do a reading for them and show them what it is and
Mhm.
everything. And I'm thinking, I geek out about magic stuff. If you get me going on something, like,
She will talk all day if it's allowed.
Yeah.
all like riddled with mercury. But um, I like information, and so she gets me going, and I'm talking all this stuff, and I had like stuff from my other classes. I pulled it out, and I'm like, well, it's not just runes. Like you can do magic formulas, and then I go, and then actually, ancient Greeks have a version of this, and I pull out all this stuff. I think we're on the same page, and then she told me that she was afraid I was going to bring the darkness to her facility. and she didn't understand runes. In particular, she didn't like that I was saying they were like magic or spells, but they're letters. So I took a moment and I said, well, they are letters, like it is spelling, it's letters.
Yeah, like so I can put the letters together and they make a spell.
Yeah,
That's
like,
kind of how like
yeah,
your mote it be bullshit is
yeah,
pretty much.
those are letters.
yeah,
Maybe like TV, like we'll see runes put on like a lot of things that are not Norse related at all, just they look cool.
Yeah.
But she didn't like it. She said that I put it in a very nice package and that I was really good at like presenting things, but if I wanted to like teach there, I would have to rework
Make
how I
yourself
do it.
less
I'd have to make it more palatable, and
gross.
I had already done showing her my dark goddess like class like paperwork. And like I'm like, oh no. And so I
Oops.
like, she's like, take these, and she goes, how about this? You talk to your team, and I'm like, I already am. But
Like,
Yeah.
it's already happening.
they're right here.
Yeah.
Let me turn off right now. He was like he's like, I taught you that like this is our stuff. Like
Yeah, like, oh, you want dark? I'll give you
Yeah.
dark.
There.
I can go there.
I like feel him like pace, and he's like, well, here we go. And so it was my first time ever having like that happen to me, like, and especially with like the runes in particular, because they're nature. Like you see them in nature, and it's not.
And guess what? Nature isn't all love and light. Like
No.
Yeah.
it's
No.
primordial. Like they
Yeah.
are primordial archetypes, which means they do have aspects that are scary.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
mean they're evil. It doesn't mean they're bad. They're scary because we don't like when things go catawampus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We like our order. We like our predictability. We like to be able to do what we want to do in the way we want to do it because
Yeah.
that makes our lives easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, often you'll find like spirits that are do kind of oversee that, like monsoons and stuff like
Yeah.
that. The wind, like, look at Lilith, like Lily too, with the wind and everything. They'll be, because it's not controllable, they're often portrayed as if they're evil or they're bad. Because, like you said, it's not in that like container, but it's still part of nature and
Like Loki with
everything.
volcanic eruptions.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah. You just have to go with it. And so I did not end up working there because
Yeah.
I didn't want to change what I was teaching, because I felt like it would not be real. It
to
wouldn't
suit somebody else's personal bias and narrative.
Yeah.
and it has to be real, like true, what happened in history. Like I'm not gonna change like the way this practice moves to make it,
Because
To make-
it's
to
not
make-
going
yeah.
to be.
Yeah.
It's not going to be genuine. It's going to
No.
be like there might be fragments of the truth left in that, but at that
Mhm.
point, it's like this isn't what this was designed to be.
Yeah.
And
So
it
that
makes
was
no
my only
sense
time.
to.
I don't know if you guys have ever experienced anything like that. I tend to be around you guys.
Yeah, yeah. Like I kind of lucked out. This was like the
Yeah.
first place I ended up
Mm-hmm.
when I moved up here.
Well, I get a lot of because working and owning a metaphysical shop, I get like a big array of different types of people. And I try to kind of just like you do you is kind of my general
Yeah.
feel, but I definitely get a lot of people who are in the north side that kind of start trying to, because I am a cis white presenting woman who has a tattooed on me and who is like, and so they start trying to like drop things into conversation. I just don't engage.
Mm-hmm.
And then I usually drop that I'm Lokean, and then they're like really not engaging. I usually don't see those people.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And like they'll try to say something that's like they're using like dog whistles and stuff, and I just like immediately start arguing against it. I'm like, well, actually, if you look at this, that, and the other thing,
Yeah.
that's not really what's going on in this story. It's actually
Yeah.
this.
You like I would love to watch somebody get toe to toe with
And then they just kind of start like getting a little slack faced, and then they like buy a candle and leave.
Yeah.
every time I talk to you, I feel like you say something and then I go down this like
Weird rabbit hole. And you're like, oh
Yeah.
shit, she did research that.
Yeah.
casual, but even in the dream state,
I keep clapping in.
she's very calm, very casual, just like, oh yeah, and then she'll say something, and I'm like, wait, what?
And then I'm gone.
Yeah.
So Ashley was having hell come around a lot, and then I have this dream of you, and you have all these like books, and you give them to me, and then you're like, she has to decide.
Don't make her do it.
You just been used as a messenger at this point?
Yeah. I just pop in and like, message.
Random, like we'll have a conversation with you, and then you'll just say like one thing, and then I'll just be like, oh. So I love it. I think you and Patrick are both like really great resources, by the way.
Thank you.
I do. Like if I'm ever like confused about something, I know if I talk to like one of you.
Even if we don't know the answer, like we know how
Yeah.
to source the answer.
Yeah.
It's like usually what I try because like I don't want to know everything because that sounds exhausting
It
and my
does.
brain doesn't function that way.
Yeah.
I remember like the most random stuff. Like I am a wealth of like immediately accessible information.
But it is a roulette wheel of what you're
Yeah, but I don't know from day to day what my brain is going to bring to the surface.
Yeah.
Wise though, and you're very like tuned in. I don't know. I think sometimes that just wisdom comes out, and I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Listen to the podcast.
Yeah, right?
Cool stuff.
Right?
Maybe come to the store, do a circle.
Come see us, come hang out. I have books, lots of books.
Didn't you say Athena was popping in for you a while back?
Oh yeah, like right when I started working with Loki, she popped in like right behind him in the flames, like you're gonna need help with this one.
Yeah.
And then like once she saw me, like and for the most part, like I would just do stuff like cross stitch with her, and like she would help ground me when I was like going through all of this. So she was very helpful in me learning how to like ground and like find viable resources and things like that. Um, and then once she started like seeing me give as good as I got from like literally everyone.
Yeah.
Like I tell everybody where they can shove it when I don't want their opinion right now.
Yeah.
She was like, "Okay, you'll be fine."
Is
when
done.
when Apollo came by the first time, he woke me up in the middle of the night. I'm sleeping. I'm in my bed. I'm not having weird dreams, nothing. It's a totally normal, very nice sleep. And then I hear, "Hey!" in my ear. I feel the breath on my cheek. I bolt awake. My husband is not in at this point. Me and Pat sleep in separate beds because I was tired of not sleeping. At this point, I jerk awake. So there's nobody. Like my dog isn't even on the bed. Like there's
Yeah.
nobody
Yeah.
in the room, and I hear cackling from the corner, and I'm like, I'm like, this is mother. I was like, okay, it wasn't you because the presence is still like right next to my bed. Like
Yeah.
who the
Yeah.
fuck is that? And it just through a couple questions. I was like, oh, this is Apollo. And then I have spent the last like 3 years threatening to sick his sister on him. Doesn't behave. And then he goes, which one? And I'm like, pick.
Yeah. We have options.
I love that. I feel like you're a singer, so he's definitely gonna be like eyeing you.
Right. And he popped up because at the time I was teaching my kid how to play the ukulele. So I think he was just like, oh, music, I'm here. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, not the way to wake me up, my guy. And I was
Yeah.
also doing like some divination working and like work and stuff at that time. So I think he was like, oh, I can help you with this. Oh, and there's music, and I'm happy about that. But I'm also going to be a giant fucking pain in the ass. And yeah, so I had to yell at him a little bit. Loki thought it was hysterical.
Of course.
Of course he did. But yeah, so once it kind of started pushing back a lot, that's when she kind of took a much bigger backseat. Like I still have an altar to her in our house, and I still like go and talk to her once in a while. She gets like tea. She gets we get grappa for them. But it as far as a working relationship, it's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
she's done what she needed to do, which is
Yeah.
apparently, teach me how to have a backbone with them and when to say no.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. About this story. back when I was having some issues with him for my birthday, I was gifted an Athena statue.
Pokey pokey.
Just okay. So I felt that was appropriate. She's just looking at everybody like, don't eat it.
Yeah.
Knock it off.
Yeah.
I will come down there and beat you with my spear.
Client for the first time. Then I get a client who's like all about Athena and she needs me to like invoke her for and do some stuff with her. And I'm doing it, but I'm used to doing it with like my, guys and they're woo.
Yeah. You're like, party.
Yeah, there's like a lot like looseness. I have like once this big like Loki in front of me, and I'm just like, okay. And so then I was like, oh, I just need to put like some music on, and then all I hear is, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I was
She's
like,
like,
Don't.
stop. I'm here. Let's go.
whenever I need this is how I do my, me. It's put on "Fancy" by Artemis. So I can feel Loki just like vibing, like, yeah, let's do this. It's gonna be great. I was like, awesome choice, great choice. She's just like, no, this is not a great choice.
This is not a good. If you're gonna put music, I want Bach. I want Beethoven.
Yeah. Nothing with words. Like, we're just.
Give me some Papa Bell.
What's going on
What
here?
is this
Yeah,
unnecessariness?
yes, all unnecessary. So it took me a minute to like acclimate to how I would
Again, you have to
present.
acclimate to the
Yeah,
energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So then moving forward with her and the client, I knew, okay, this is how she's not gonna like, corpse bride.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Moving into this. Yeah, I don't work with her. I just that's just my anecdote.
Yeah.
Literally.
Just that one time she had to come around for a thing and she was
Yeah.
really not into it.
Yeah.
Like you can light it. They're not coming. It's fine.
It's like,
Yeah. Certain way.
It's like, yes, ma'am.
yes.
That's okay. Okay, we can do that.
All right. Well, we are on almost an hour and a half now.
Wow.
Flew.
Yeah.
So I guess we should wrap it up here. Let Pat get to editing us and hopefully you can hear Erica this time. You're sounding good in the headphones. So
Sorry. Like, don't get mad.
I mean, you're sounding good from my end, so hopefully, fingers crossed. But anyway, thank you all for joining. If you have any other questions, comments, concerns, you can email us. Email us at The.Conclave.Podcast at gmail.com. Go check out Ed Arlene Spiritual Cast. Do you have a podcast?
No.
Not yet?
No. Hasn't gotten there yet.
And yeah, comments, questions, hit all the buttons, follow, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we will see you next time.
Until next time.